Hi, everybody. My name is John DePietro.
And I'm Bob Zagami with the Camper Report Show.
On this Camper Report Show, we're going to begin a series of exciting and fun RV destinations. This week, we are going to be in Florida until you see what we've got coming up in upcoming weeks. How about you, Bob?
I've got an interview with Terry Broussard, who is the CEO of a brand new company. He's been out there a couple of years, but they were under the radar coming up. It's called Spot Tonight, SPOT number 2 NITE. Think of it as the hotels.com of the campground business.
There you go. Two great stories, plus all the news of the week from our friends at RV Business and Woodall's Campground Magazine right here. Where, Bob?
The Camper Report Show.
Stay with us, everybody. And welcome back to the Camper Report Show. My name is John DePietro. That person next to me is Bob Zagami. And Bob, there's a lot of news coming out now as we approach the traditional start of the camping season, April, May, again, depending upon where you are. And our friends at RVIA are coming out with a series of reports that kind of talk about what people should be looking for when they go camping this year, and whether they want to go private, whether they want to go public, whether they want to go to a state park, whether they want to go boondocking. Talk a little bit about that report, because it's really all encompassing, isn't it?
It is, and it's kind of unique because it's not something that you would expect from RVIA. RVIA is the manufacturers association, but they're also interested in making sure that we continue to sell a lot of RVs. And if you sell a lot of RVs, you have to have a lot of campgrounds and campsites. So they just issued their very first campground industry market analysis. So it was their analysis and their research, totally different from anything else in the industry, but under the RVIA banner. And a couple of things that they had, they looked at private versus public campgrounds. 71% are private, 29% are public. And there's an increase in the number of campsites in public areas, state parks and national parks. And total campgrounds, 45% are private and 55% are public. And we're seeing activity and growth experiences in both of those sectors of the marketplace. So it's going to be very, and it's really designed to say, what do we have for campsite inventory? What do we need as an industry? What's the industry going to do? I think it might have a situation where it could potentially ruffle some feathers in the industry, because historically, this kind of information comes out of the KOA, North American Camping Report, which should be issued in a couple of weeks. And you might actually see some disparity because it's a different research company that's doing the report, where RVIA.
And it's always interesting because the way the results of report end up many times are framed by how they ask the questions. And an interesting part about this report that I would noted is that it seems as though there is a demand for more public facilities with a higher degree of amenities. And usually, state parks and that type of thing, they're kind of bare bones, aren't they?
Yeah, in a lot of cases they are, but we're seeing growth on the other end of that. One of the things that was interesting, and I don't think this is bad that they issued the report. I think it's good for the industry, because everybody's talking about what do we do after we sell the RV? Where do they go? So the more information that we can put out there for consumers, the more comfortable they're going to be with buying an RV and understanding the marketplace. So whether it comes from KOA or RVIA or someplace else, that's fine. But one of their numbers was that in June, July, and August, 76% of all the campsites are booked already.
Yep.
And so there again, there's other things. That's where my interview comes in tonight, also to talk about getting campsites on short notice. And it's going to be very interesting to see what develops. And there could be some kickback from ARVIC, which is the Association of RV Parks, the National Association, because they publish a report similar to this. KOA publishes it now in the 6th or 7th or 8th year with the North American Camping Report. So here's a third report. So it's going to be very interesting to take all three of them, lay them on the table, and see what similarities there are, what differences there are, And I think you hit it right on the head. The big difference has got to be what question did they ask and how did they ask it?
Ask it. Yeah, exactly. Now, one thing should be pointed out here. When you read these reports about 1,100,000 new campers in the last couple of years, new RV sales, okay? I tell people this all the time. Not only do I tell people this, but I have practiced it and found that it works. If you're going camping and you check on the website of the place that you want to go to and it says sold out, my suggestion, folks, is this: call anyway, because many times websites are not up to date. And I've been in a situation where it was on the 4th of July up in northern Vermont, which is a vacation mecca, where I called at 11 in the morning for that night. And the person who answered the phone said, "I'm glad you called because we just got a cancellation." They weren't even able to put it into their system. So folks, if you want to go camping, go camping. I mean,
Right.
the more in
Okay.
advance that you can reserve, the better off. And speaking of camping, our friends at KOA have come up with another report. That a lot of it is based upon the North American Camping Report, which comes out very, very shortly. But there are some very interesting statistics about the number of people that plan to camp in 2022 after naysayers had said they're only going to camp in 2021 and they're going to give up camping. Talk about that, please.
Yeah, it's interesting because this comes from a series of reports that KOA publishes every month. It's almost like a monthly marketing reports where they take a segment of what is in the overall camper report and drill down a little bit. And they found in this particular report, 64% of campers plan to camp in 2022. 64% of people that are out there. So that's a big number. 50% of campers say they have already booked some of their trips for 2022. And we've been saying that every week. It seems like it's a broken record that you have to make your campground reservations early. So people are doing that. And then they talk about different locations and geographic destinations. For spring break, they say 1 in 5 campers are going to plan to go to a spring break. And there was another number that came out this past week, not associated with any of these reports, but I saw a report where the average age of today's RV buyer is now 33 years old. And, it wasn't that long ago that it was 55. Exactly.
It came down that far. That is absolutely amazing. And
well, it's a combination: the millennials, the Gen Z, the new RVers, the COVID buyers, the COVID campers that are buying stuff, younger families getting into it. And it would be nice to see a chart, and I'm sure somebody will do it.
Yep.
But we go back 5 or 10 years ago, we were up in the 45, 55 age bracket.
Yep. Well, you know what? When you look at what the sales for the vehicles are, they're the Class Bs, they're the Revels, they're the units that people want to go boondocking, they want to go to national parks, et cetera. Now, another interesting aspect of that KOA report is that the number of COVID-related deferments or cancellations is way down. So people are not being impacted by COVID issues as much as they were before, from 30% to 20%. A very good run in the right direction.
Well, it is. And as we watch the campground forums and look at the magazines, Woodall's Campground magazine, looking at the stories that come out, the campgrounds are booking for 2023 and 2024. So a lot of the big ones, especially in major resorts, you take the Myrtle Beach, the Floridas, the Texas, those campgrounds are full. So
Yep.
you're booking out there a year, and that's a hard thing to do. People don't know when they're going to get their vacation. They don't know who's going to be available, who's going to get sick, but you have to do it. You have to do it.
Yep. And when you get camping, many times you want to put the awning out. Now, in that picture behind you, there are 3 or 4 awnings out, which kind of leads us to our next story. Our friends at Lippard just made another major acquisition and has to do with awnings.
It may not be a household name for many RVers, but Gerard makes a lot of high-end awnings, automated awnings, built-in awnings, the size of the large Class A diesel pushers. Luxury motorhomes have them. And Lippert has a division called Solera that has replacement awnings, replacement fabrics, brand new awnings. This gives them something above that with Gerard. And that's going to be another, plum for them. They're on a roll. They just keep buying 3 or 4 companies a year. And Jason went out and bought another one. They also make tankless water heaters, which
I
is
moved my
another.
hand like that, not to hurry you up, but to say the awnings are on a roll too. They roll out. But more importantly, they roll
and they
in.
do it, and they do it automatically.
They roll in automatically when the
Press
wind
it automatically
hits.
on your smartphone. You just put the awning out. You can do that.
Exactly. But you know what? This kind of wraps up our news section. We've told you where to camp, what type of campgrounds to go to, what type of awnings to be under when you're camping. And now we're going to get into, with our 2 segments this week, is you're going to tell people how to get a camp spot, even if it's at the last minute. And I'm going to give people advice. And I'll give you a little hint. It's that place right behind me. It's in Florida. And it's coming up right after these messages right here. Where?
The Camper Report Show.
I'm Jesse from Outsiders Calling, and I love adventurous family travel with my wife Jenny and our son Tucker.
For over 3 years, we've RV'd across the U.S. and Mexico, and it's tough to find places that meet all our needs.
Now we plan our trips with the RV Trip Wizard. Pull it up in the RV Life app, select it, and go.
It helps us discover amazing new places to grow together as a family.
RV Trip Wizard with the RV Life app is an awesome trip planning combination.
You can get both for one low annual price. Check out rvlife.com to learn more.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the Camper Report Show, and I'm delighted to have Terry Broussard, my guest, CEO of Spot Tonight. Terry, welcome to the show. Tell us a little bit about your company. I was intrigued with the press releases this week.
Well, thanks, Bob, and thanks for having us here. Yeah, really, Spot Tonight was born out of a passion to fix what we saw as a problem as fellow RV travelers. I'm a 4-time RV traveler, retired Air Force guy, and my son-in-law and I literally are sitting on the side of the RV, and he says, let's go somewhere. And I said, when? He said, tonight. And I said, okay, here's my phone. There's about 30 directories in there. Find a spot and we'll go. I'll go tell Mary that we're leaving. And he says to me, oh my gosh, this is painful. And, using Google and everything else. And that was the birth of Spot Tonight. And here we are. That started in 2019. And the press release, we were so excited that we announced, launched our web version.
It's interesting. Some of the best inventions or best programs that we have in this industry come from experienced RVers who, out of frustration, had the creativity and the expertise to fix the problem. And it sounds like you really hit something here, because many times one of the things that we see a lot in the industry today is people are frustrated that they can't just drive down the highway and stop whenever they want to stop. We've sold 1 million RVs the last 2 years, 50% of them to new people. They've never had an RV, they've never had a campground. So there's a constant complaint out there that people cannot find sites. And I don't agree with all of them, because we have a lot of campgrounds. But this allows you to pinpoint. Tell us how it works, but you're driving down, and because most people like to roam and just stop where you want to stop, not have a deadline or not have to make reservations a week or a month in advance. Tell us how you solved that issue.
Yeah, sure. So we actually directly connect to the booking systems that these major campgrounds and resorts are using. And so essentially, we are handing the traveler a terminal into those park reservations. So as you indicated, just traveling down the road, you can pull up Spot Tonight on your iPhone or your tablet at a rest stop or whatever, and hit the search parks near me. And of course, we want you to build your profile first, because now we know what we're trying to place, right? Because we have some very accurate filtering technology. It will only show you parks that have a spot that you can have that meets your needs. I'm not going to show you parks that don't have a spot or that don't have reservations available. And so that technology basically matches that square peg into a square hole in that distance. And it not only does it accurately, but it shows you the immediate price. And really, once you build your profile, in about 8 clicks, you can do what we call look, book, and go. And you'll be a booked, confirmed reservation in that system.
What's interesting about it also is you are truly agnostic as far as integrating with the campground reservation systems that are out there for the majority of them. And, we still have some campgrounds that are doing pencil and paper or running it up on a spreadsheet or something, but there's some great campground management software out there. And you found a way to integrate to all of them. So it's seamless for the campground owner also. I can't see any reason why a campground owner wouldn't want to be connected, but I also can't see any reason why a consumer wouldn't want to have this in their bag of tricks.
Exactly. And we really, as you heard earlier, I was not from the hotel motel industry trying to become a traveler. I was a traveler. And then, and I would get all these emails from reservation systems as we traveled. And so I started talking to a lot of park owners and got pretty savvy on all of the different systems they were using. And then basically we have a phenomenal development team, and we got in touch with developer kits, and we wrote our first connection to the first park system, and then our first reservation system. And then that kind of started snowballing and mushrooming, and we kept going and going. And I'm excited to say that we're just about ready to turn on system number 5. And so the inventory just keeps growing, and our spots are starting to grow together. And we've got parks all across North America, and that includes now we've got a handful of parks in Canada as well as Alaska. So what started as a dream on the side of an RV in 2019 has now gotten it to where my wife can say, let's go somewhere tonight, or my son-in-law, and hand me the phone, and here's the spot I've booked. Your travelers will see that they can share spots in the app. It's really neat. And so it makes it so much easier that you can find it.
That's the way we always used to do it, but there's still a lot of people that do it that way right now. I know I would come home on a Friday night and say, let's go camping, and pick up a couple of telephone numbers or try to get some reservations. But with this, you can hop in the rig, go as far as you want, and then search the area, and bingo, you've got something on your list for you. And
I would just add, we can go as far forward in the year that the booking system lets you. Again, I often joke we should call it Spot Tonight and Beyond, because we have that ability to go as far forward as the park has turned on their dates for. And, with different systems in the winter, they may not thaw out yet, so they close those booking down, and all of a sudden they open up, and so you can look as far forward as you want to.
How does it work? One of the things that we always tell people on our shows when we're talking about campgrounds, and they complain about the fact that they cannot get a reservation because they only tried one time. And we say, look, at it. You've got to call the day of wherever you think you want to be, because there are a lot of cancellations. So if a park has a cancellation, how long is it before it goes back into the system, or is it seamless in your software?
It's seamless. As soon as they cancel and that spot's available, you could conceivably be booking it in the app. So if you're sitting there and you're checking that you don't have it, then as soon as someone cancels ahead of you, or if you know of a friend that's going to cancel, I know sometimes on the travel group, someone says, well, I'm canceling at this park and I'm getting ready to do it, and people can do that. And you'll be able to see it, because again, we're talking to the same database. Yep. We don't get a morning report of availability and chew away at that all day. Everything is shuffling in real time. And so picture this, as you'll see it in the app when you play with it, there's a timer, a clock that shows you the time ticking down. And that's for the urgency that you need to book, because there are a lot of people looking at that same reservation. And so once you see that it's available, you need to go ahead and book. That's why I always recommend at talking to travelers at the shows that we do, is my best success is always with building my profile ahead of time. So I don't have to go back into the RV and get my credit card with the CVC code and all that stuff. put it in the secure vault, and then you're ready to go. Bang, bang, bang.
Yep. I can't picture any campground not wanting to do it, because on their end of it, you're saving them labor and time and personnel. Everybody knows that we're short on labor. We have people that don't want to work. Every service industry has that problem. So again, taking that burden off the campground and having it automated, it just seems like a blessing for them.
Absolutely. So, there are so many people that just won't return a call to a park that puts them on hold or doesn't answer the phone. They just move on. Or as you said earlier, you're driving down the road and maybe your friend or family member is trying to book. Well, by the time they call you back, you're already 30 minutes on the other side of that park. And so that just doesn't work. This brings it right into your hand, and the travelers can look, book, and go right to that park. So like I said, it's best to build your profile out first, and then you can actually search for parks and share and put a little heart that we have a little favorites button, and you can send it to each other. And if that traveler that you're sending it to doesn't have the app, of course, it'll prompt them to download it, and it will send them to the exact park that you're looking at. So if you're trying to coordinate a group of travelers, you know how many Gulf Coast RV parks there are in Florida? There are a lot. So, as I discovered. So if you just send it to them, they'll get the exact park in the app, and everybody can see it. And then talking about the parks, we see such a wide spectrum of park owner operators. We have some that are very much into the tech, and they recognize, just as you said, so like, wait a minute, now you're giving me 24-hour booking support. And actually we are, we're doing that. And then they realize that that is really the way to go.
Yeah. So as consumers become more aware of this product and the app, they probably have campgrounds that they would like to see in the system. So how do you populate it? You can certainly do it through the software vendors when you connect with that particular vendor. But what about consumers that may want to tell you about a park that they think should be in your system?
Well, right now, that's a great question. We actually have a button in the app that says Park Suggestions, and they can put in the name of a park, and that comes direct to me. And I answer every email. I've just answered 8 this morning, and I'll go out to that park actually and look at it directly. And if I find what system they're using, if it's one that we're connected to, then it's an easy sell that, hey, Bob just emailed me and said he'd like to see you in the app. And we do have a referral type program as a park ambassador, that if you're traveling and you see it, or even if you see a park in our app that right now doesn't say book instantly, the reason they're in the app is because we are talking to that system, and they're in some part of our connection cycle. But if a traveler goes to the door and shows them the app and says, hey, you really need to call Terry and get connected to this. You're in there already. Why can't I book you instantly? And they'll say, well, I don't know. I need to do that. And then they'll ping me, and away we go. Again, it's about building that community and the family of travelers and park operators. And let's face it, we all want the same thing, right? We all want a spot tonight.
Well, and that's what I love about it. Just being able to say, we're going to go somewhere, or you're already on traveling and you just don't know when you're going to get to the next spot, or you get tired, or you get a flat tire and you have to do things. Having that as a safety net for you when you're on the road also.
Yeah, and I think, again, it gives you that ability to locate those campgrounds that have full service and that are safe, and you're not trying to sleep a little bit in a truck stop and whatnot in some other area. They may not be as safe and secure as we'd all like them to be.
Sure. So through the app, you can actually schedule that night or a couple of nights or even further ahead, as long as their system is open.
That's correct.
Anybody that comes in to make the reservations.
That's correct. And you can book up to 28 days at that single stay. We don't do long-term reservations for travelers because, as we learned in talking with the parks, many of the parks, that drives a landlord-tenant relation in the state or jurisdiction. and they have special requirements, whether it's a background check or whatever. And sometimes, honestly, you're best to call a park and get a monthly rate for that. We offer,
sure.
That's correct.
Yeah.
We offer a rate that they offer online, and that's how it works.
Yeah.
And then we do charge a small service convenience fee, we call it, on the booking. That works out to about $3 to $5 per reservation max. We cap that at $20 for the whole offering. The standard in the industry, interesting, in OTAs is about 30%. So if you're using, and I said OTA, online travel agent, but if you're using something like Airbnb or VRBO, that service fee is typically about 30%.
Yep.
And ours roughly hangs out about 10%, never goes higher. In fact, we cap that, like I said, at 20.
Okay.
We also offer discounts for like RV shows, the booth. I usually throw out a discount on a card, and travelers can get that. And we discount the service charge that we charge, because I really want to get people accustomed to doing that. And then, of course, being a Louisiana-based company, we offer discounts for natural disasters and that are been declared for evacuation. If people need to, hey, we got to get out of here, there's a storm coming, pull up the app and let's go. And that's worked out very well, and we're glad that we can do that.
That's another great application, emergency management.
Absolutely.
Get the tornado
Air Force
warning,
guy here.
get the hurricane, get the tornado, get in the RV and get the hell out of here. Yeah.
And get Spot Tonight and point it to your safe zone, and away you go. That's right.
All right. Our guest today has been Terry Broussard, CEO of Spot Tonight. You're going to be hearing a lot about this software, so we want you to check it out and download their app. Terry, thank you very much for joining us today. Great to hear about the company.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Look forward to hearing from you again.
Mike here from RV Blogger. Don't waste hundreds of dollars on an external GPS for your RV. All you need to do is download the RV Life app right onto your phone. This app is so cool. It has RV GPS built right into it. So you can load all the specific measurements and weights for your RV. It'll give you directions safe for your RV to follow. And by the way, if you have RV Trip Wizard, directions for your trips upload into this GPS automatically.
Hey everybody, we are in beautiful South Florida. We are at the KOA right here at Lions Country Safari, and we're talking with Kathy. Kathy is the manager. Kathy, welcome to your facility.
Well, thank you for coming and visiting.
Well, the thing I've noticed here, that sign up there, it's more than just a sign. It's really the way things are around here, because when we walked in yesterday, your associate Margaret greeted us with a smile, and everybody's been so accommodating. It must be the tone that you're setting as the manager.
Well, we try to welcome everybody here, and we hope they have a good time at visiting Lion Country.
So Lions Country Safari is, you can't ask for a more convenient location. You're no more than, some people say, oh, within 30 minutes of the park.
Yeah.
You're 30 seconds.
Exactly,
from
yes.
the park. In fact, I'm told, now that's a jet airplane going around behind us, but I'm told that you can hear the roar of the lions here.
Yes, usually early in the mornings when the trainers are getting them up and out and to enjoy the public. But yes, they roar at any time of the day.
And that plane went by right on cue.
Well, good thing is we don't have trains here. We do have the planes, but we do not have trains here going by.
Yeah. Now, as far as the facility is concerned, as I turn the camera over, I'm told that there's over 200 sites, right? 200 RV sites.
Correct, yes.
But I'm told that you also can accommodate people that are first time, just getting into the RV lifestyle, that don't own one yet, but that want to try the glamping tents or the famous KOA cabins.
Rustic cabins, yes. So we offer those. Also, you can bring your own tent and set up here and go camping and just enjoy the outdoors.
Exactly. Now, there are so many new people coming into the RV lifestyle. All the studies show that the last 2 years they've sold 500,000 RVs, with the bulk of those going to first-time RVers. When people hit the road for the first time, there can be some surprises at some of the campgrounds that they stop in. And certainly KOA has standards that every campground has to meet. That's got to be so important for an RVer to get the feel to like RVing, right?
I think it is. They know what to expect once they go to one KOA, then they will go to the next. There may be different amenities between the two, but we always do keep a standard of RV wellness in the campground.
Yep.
or sites, and so it's kind of like going to a McDonald's. You know what to expect
You know what to
for
expect.
the 90% of the time. Yes.
Yeah. And as I turn around to the flags back here, I see the American flag. I also see the Canadian flag. And this year you can welcome back the Canadian.
Yes, and it's been a tremendous welcome back. We missed him for a couple of years. This particular KOA has a 98% return every year from the same guest.
Wait. Say that one more time.
This KOA has a 98% return in seasonals from Canada every year.
Okay, so you need to take a bow.
No.
You need to take a bow on that. But
No,
I'm sure your
it's
staff
really
is
great, yes.
responsible for that as well.
We've become a family this time of year. It's really nice.
It looks like we have one of our Canadian friends right there. He's got his Canadian flag.
Yes.
Welcome back, Mr. Canada. So, what would you say to people that are coming to this part of the state, why they should come here?
I would definitely make it a stop. I consider Lion Country Safari just as important as going to Disney World. It's been here for over 50 years. It's just a very good place to go visit with kids.
Great. And speaking of kids, you've got playground behind us. You've got a wide variety of activities even in the wintertime.
Yes, wintertime we do a little bit more activities for our snowbirds. Kids we get on weekends, and so we do have our pool, playground, but most of the time the kids are going next door enjoying the safari.
And one of the things that I noticed with KOAs in particular is that you have security. So at night,
Yes.
you need a special access key to get in.
Right.
And that's got to feel important for parents when they let the kids walk around the park too.
Yes, exactly, yes.
So we want to thank you so much, Kathy. I know you've got a busy day ahead of you. And we want to let everybody know we are at where, Kathy? Where are we?
We are at West Palm Beach Lion Country Safari KOA Journey.
Come on down and see Kathy.
You bet.